Hi, friends. Welcome to Race to Rise podcast, a place where we discuss bite sized wisdom nuggets with easy to follow practices to live a better life. I am your host, Mithal Patel, a parenting junkie, Ayurveda enthusiast, and an advocate of conscious living. Is there anything that feels as awful as bad mom thoughts or bad parent thoughts? For example, they sound something like this in your head. I am the worst mom. I am not good enough. Or I am messing up my kids. I just know it, etc., etc. Right? So, past weekend it was Mother's Day, and I have this habit of course, I like to share my, cute moments with my kids on social media, but at the same time, I have been seeing this more awareness and reflection of that. There are some moms who are grieving over their losing their child, or there are some moms who doesn't have a great relationship with their moms and they're not able to celebrate. And then there are moms who are sharing the cute lunches or the breakfast that their kids and partner has planned. But then there are moms who were expecting something and they got nothing. So there's just whole mixed feelings, especially on Mother's Day, from gratefulness to grief. It's just range of big emotions and big feelings flowing through social media on Mother's Day or Father's Day or any special days. And so I really want to share that we are all good enough. We all have this good enoughness inside of us, within us. All we have to do is just tap into it. It's not that it's nice to have the good enoughness inside, but it's a necessity, because we cannot be a good enough mom or a good enough parent until we feel like we are a good enough person. And I really learned that from Dr. Becky Kennedy, where she focuses on being good enough inside, right? So the truth is, you are a good enough person already. We have always been good enough. We are born good enough, right? Like, just take this as a perspective that you were once a child with big feelings, big struggles, big wants, big desires, who likely never got the type of support you needed to separate your behaviors from your, feelings or emotions. And so it was, your good enoughness was just never spotted on. And so we can still change that now. And that's why we're here. That's why we're doing the inner work. That's why we're doing the reparenting. And that's why we're doing all the personal development work that we want. And this is something I've been practicing. And I want to share that one reminder that I have been trying to master from learning from the book The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It has been a phenomenal read. Every year, beginning of the year, I read that book, sooner or later, of course. And I'm trying to master the skill of understanding that everything is just, everything is a thought. So like when I say I'm a bad mom, that's just a thought. And I can change it anytime I want, right? It's just a thought. It doesn't define me. It doesn't define who I am. And so to change it, there are so many ways we can rewire our belief system. Because what is a belief system? It comes from a thought. When we repeat a single thought over and over and over, it becomes our belief. It becomes, we make that as our value system, right? It means we can change it anytime. If it's a thought, we can just change it. Change it like a dirty shirt, like my coach would say, right? If you, for example, if you're wearing a shirt today and you wear it all day, it's dirty now, you're not going to keep that same shirt tomorrow. You're going to change it because just because it's dirty, right? And it doesn't serve you well, you're going to change it, you're going to wash it, you can wear it again. Same thing with a thought. It's just a thought. If it's not serving us, we can change it. And so if today you are doubting your goodness and you have lots of bad mom thoughts just because, something triggered you over this past Mother's Day, and just because you saw that somebody's child brought them flowers and the breakfast, or they bought them chocolates and your child didn't get you anything, or your child criticized you for something on a letter that they wrote you, remind yourself that that is just, that's just their perspective and it's a thought, and you can change it. You can change it. And apart from having this thought and just changing it, there is something deeper within it. As a coach, we learn that it's not about what we see. It's not about the tip of the iceberg. It's about what's underneath. So when you are doubting your goodness and your good enoughness, and you're having lots of bad mom thoughts or bad parent thoughts, this actually tells us that when, as a child, you learn to identify yourself with self-blame or self-criticism and, not self-compassion, because you learn to pair your struggles with yourself, and you started blaming and shaming and criticizing because that's what you got as a child. And so, this means that growing up, your struggles were likely met with the blame or the shame or the criticism instead of connection, instead of looking at it as a curiosity. We can change that, and we can turn the blame and the criticism, which looks like something, you are not good enough, why did you do that, etc. And we can change it into a connection where, okay, I am curious where this is coming from. I'm curious about what's going on inside me. Things like that. It can be like, okay, I made a mistake as a mom, and mistakes are how we learn, right? And so we can always ask for support, ask for help, and make it better. And so today I want to share this little practice that I do on a regular basis. Whenever I am having a thought of like I'm not good enough, or whenever I end up comparing myself with, oh, she's such a mindful parent, because of course I have my rough days when I lose it, when I raise my voice, or when I get into the controlling mode, and then I start comparing myself again. I have this thought like, oh, she's such a mindful mom and she knows how to self-regulate herself. But that's just a picture that I see outside. I don't know everybody's stories, right? So I like to remind myself by placing a hand on my heart, breathing, and telling myself that this moment doesn't define me, and this is not my voice. I have learned to compare and criticize, blame, and shame myself, but this is not my original voice. I've acquired this from my surrounding, from my societies. I've acquired that I am the one to blame for my struggles. I am the one to blame for and shame myself for my mistakes. I will note that when it comes up, and then I'll breathe a few times. And so today I want to share this practice with you, and I hope you guys can remind yourself that the challenging moment doesn't define you. You are good enough. You are good enough inside of yourself. You are good inside. And to reflect and change, we really have to be able to hold on to this idea that mistakes are part of the journey. When I make mistake, I learn, right? And I want to do things differently, which means I no longer want to do things as I have been doing. And this doesn't make me a bad parent. This doesn't make me a bad mom now or before. And so instead, let's reflect and change that I am willing to grow. I am a brave, good mom. I am enough, and I am willing to look at myself and try new things, and I'm willing to accept my mistakes, apologize for my mistakes, repair for my mistake, and move on and just change my thought to I am a good enough mom and I am doing best as I can with all the resources that I have in this moment. So cheers to the season 2 of Raise to Rise with Mita podcast. Yes, I'm naming it as season 2. Who cares? Just a label, right? I'm right here with you. We're continuing from where we left off with getting better and better. And I just want to leave you with this one sentence to reflect upon that. Self-love is sacred work. Self-healing is sacred work because you serve the world by becoming your better self. Whether, you serve your family, your friends, your colleague, your kids, your partner by becoming your better self. So cheers to becoming better. Oh, and I just realized that I've been saying that better self. What I mean by better self is like best self. I'm not saying that you're not better right now. I'm just saying that we want to be, best of ourselves. We want to be the best version of ourselves. And so that's all the life is about, right? Being better version of ourselves than what we were yesterday. It's the competition. It's about me versus me, not me versus you or me versus him or me versus her. It's just about me. It's about the self, being the best self. That's it for this week's episode of Raise to Rise. Be sure to sign up to our email list at risewithmittal.com and join us again next time for more wisdom about life, kids, and everything in between. I am Mita Patel, wishing you happy raising and rising.